Welcome to Court Helicopter Explainer, where we are dealing with the Penal Code. We told you crime is very expensive. You better stop engaging in crime, put on your tracksuits, run away from crime. We are looking at liberty. Liberty is a very fundamental thing in one's life. Liberty means you are free. You can walk from here to wherever you want to go. You can take a bus to travel anywhere in this country. You can take a boda and move anywhere. You can walk from one county to another county. You can live from one city to another city. You can walk from one village to another village. That is what is liberty. Anytime the police arrest you, they put you in a cell. They restrict your liberty of movement. Anytime the court convicts you, you are sent to prison. The biggest thing prison does is to limit your liberty. It is a constitutional provision that the liberty of citizens is guaranteed by the state. Suppose one detains you without any law of order. Can you detain somebody? Can you curtail somebody's liberty? Has your liberty ever been curtailed by somebody who is not a policeman or who is not allowed by law to detain you? Then listen to this. What is the definition of kidnapping from Kenya? 254. We are dealing with the issue of kidnap. The Gen Zs were kidnapped. People talk about kidnapping. Today, we are looking at the element of kidnap is denial of liberty. Once somebody kidnaps, it is denial of liberty. Let us see what 254 says. Definition of kidnapping from Kenya. Any person who conveys any person beyond the limits of Kenya without the consent of that person or of some person legally authorized to consent on behalf of that person is said to kidnap that person from Kenya. Which means if you get any Kenyan out of this country without his consent, if he's an adult, he must consent to travel out of the country. That is kidnapping a person from Kenya to another country. You put somebody in a cage, you carry him across to Uganda. You carry that person across to Ethiopia. You take that person by force, put him on a flight off to another country. That is kidnapping. But remember, if it is the Kenyan government and there is a court order to deport, then there's no kidnapping. You'll be deported legally through a legal process. 255. Kidnapping. Definition of kidnapping from lawful guardianship. Any person who takes or entices any minor, this is about children under 14 years of age, if a male, or under 16 years, if a female, or any person of unsound mind, out of the keeping of a lawful guardian, or of the minor, or person of sound mind, without the consent of the guardian, is said to kidnap the minor or person from lawful guardianship. If you take a girl, a small girl, who is not your daughter, from the guardian or from the parents, lock that child in your house. If it is a boy below 14 years, then that is kidnapping. You know very well, we have dealt with stories where people kidnap your child, then they call you and tell you, pay a certain ransom. That is provided for. It is illegal. Section 256, the definition of abduction. The Gen Zs were abducted. What is the definition of abduction? any person who by force compels or by any deceitful means induces any person to go from any place is said to abduct that person. It can be by force. That is an abduction. It can be by inducement, deceit, lying to this person. For example, many people have been lied. That is an abduction. Is your house girl under captivity through abduction? Did you go to the village and cheat that you are coming to get a job for this girl? You are coming to get a job for this boy. You have a job in Dubai. The job that is not there. The house you bring this girl, you have told her she's coming to work in Nairobi. You keep her as a house girl in the house without her consent. That is abduction under section 256. What is the punishment? In 257, any person who kidnaps any person from Kenya or from lawful guardianship is guilty of a felony and is liable for imprisonment for 7 years. So if you kidnap anybody, you are going in for 7 years. Then we have kidnapping or abducting in order to murder. You are kidnapping to go and kill somebody. 258. Any person who kidnaps or abducts any person in order that that person may be murdered or may be disposed of as to be put in danger or being murdered is guilty of a felony and is liable to imprisonment for 10 years. So if you kidnap somebody so that that person is going to be murdered, you will go in for 10 years. Kidnapping or abducting with intent to confine. Any person who kidnaps or abducts any person with intent to cause that person to be secretly and wrongfully confined is guilty of a felony and is liable to imprisonment for 7 years. If you are part and parcel of kidnapping somebody with the purpose of confining, keeping that person, mtu ametusumbua ni mjinga, wacha kae kwa hapa kwa nyumba for 5 days, you go for 7 years. What about kidnapping or abducting in order to subject to grievous harm, slavery, etc.? Any person who kidnaps or abducts any person in order that the person may be subjected or may be so disposed as of to be put in danger or being subjected to grievous harm, or knowing it to be likely that such person will be subjected to this, is guilty of a felony and is imprisonment for 10 years. If you kidnap anybody to come to be a slave, to come to be a housewife, to become to be a house girl, to become to be a houseboy without their consent, if you are found guilty, you'll go in for 10 years. 261. Wrongfully concealing or keeping in confinement a kidnapped or a abducted person. Any person who, knowing that any person has been kidnapped or has been abducted and hides that person, will go in for 7 years. Kidnapping or abducting a child under 14 years with intent to steal from its person. If you have abducted a child for the purpose of stealing that child, you'll go in for 7 years. Then what about wrongful confinement? It says, whoever wrongfully confines any person is guilty of a misdemeanor and is liable to imprisonment for 1 year or to a fine of 14,000 with a fine of 14,000 shillings. So if you keep your girlfriend who has come and you confine that person for a long duration, have you ever locked a girlfriend in the house? Have you ever locked a boyfriend in the house, she cannot go away. That is illegal confinement, and you'll go in for 1 year. Then we have unlawful compulsory labor. Any person who unlawfully compels any person to labor against the will of that person is guilty of a misdemeanor. Are your employees compelled to work for you? Have you taken an ID card, a passport, fare, a phone, so that this person cannot be free to leave, cannot be free to call, cannot be able to do anything? Then you are illegally confining this person. You will go in for 3 years. Lastly, the offenses under this part, it is very, very serious if you are found in trafficking in the persons. We shall be looking at the law, the new law, trafficking of human traffic, which is a very, very serious offense. Why should we bring all this to you? Because Section 7 of the law of the Penal Code says any ignorance of the law is no defense against the law. So today, you know, keep away from crime, run away. We are bringing to you episode after episode on the Penal Code. Wakili Danstan Omari on his trousers, sports gear, because my message to you is keep off crime. Wakili Danstan Omari. Happy New Year from Court Helicopter News.